Does ARAHANTS achieve the perfection in goodness?
Whether the Arahant can reach the state of perfection?
Yeah.
Well, the word Arahant really means one who has reached perfection. So there is nothing more to be done. The Buddha is also an Arahant. That's why we say, Itipiso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho. The Arahang means, we have to understand this word Arahang. Ara means a fetter. Fetter means a bond. Bond. That if you take a rope and tie a person, that rope is Ara. Ara means the rope. Hang means to break that rope. Because we are tied to the concept of existence or being. We think, we are dreaming that we are existing. So that existence itself is the problem. Because the Buddha spoke of existence, the word that he used was bhava. Existence is bhava. And so we have to awaken from that dream of existence. So the word Buddha means one who has awakened. So, but to awaken, we have to break the bonds that we are tied to this concept of existence. So, Arahant, Samma Sambuddho means the one who has broken the bonds and awakened from the dream of existence. So, the word Arahant. But you see, it is the Mahayanists who started trying to distinguish between the Arahant and the Bodhisattva. That is another long story I have to explain. You see, this Mahayana and Theravada was not there at the beginning. It was 100 years after the Buddha that there was what is called the second council. And it is at that second council that the followers of the Buddha broke up into two, the Theras and the Mahasangha. Mahasangha, that means after the Buddha had passed away, there were lot of other people who became disciples of the Buddha just because the disciples of the Buddha were treated well by the people. But although they became disciples of the Buddha, they were not really interested in following the teachings of the Buddha. They were only interested in getting the benefits from the lay followers. So they proposed we should break some of these rules or modify the rules to make it easier for us. The Theras were the elders. The elders began to say, no, we cannot break the rules laid down by the Buddha. Then those people said, in that case, we'll take a vote. So they voted. And who won? Those who want to break the rules won. So those who won became the Mahasangha. And the elders who said we cannot break the rules, they began to be called the Theras. The Theras are the elders, and the younger people who wanted to break the rules, they separated as the Mahasangha because they won the vote. So the problem came because they were depending on the lay people for the benefits. And if the lay people think, oh, these are the people who wanted to break the rules laid down by the Buddha, so we will not serve them. So then they are losing that way. So there was a wise monk who said, don't worry, we'll explain to the layman why we wanted to break the rules. So he came out and said, well, you know these Theras, the senior monks, they want to follow the rules. For what purpose? They want to become Arahants. Becoming an Arahant is reaching that state of perfection. That is the meaning of becoming an Arahant, breaking the bonds. And they said, we don't want to become Arahants. We want to become Buddhas. When they said that, these lay followers, they didn't know much about Buddhism, so they thought, well, becoming a Buddha is better than becoming an Arahant. Then we'll help them, we'll serve them. And then they said, if you want to become a Buddha, you don't have to follow the Vinaya rules, you only have to practice the paramitas. So we'll be practicing the paramitas to become Buddhas. So the lay followers began to help them, support them. That is how they broke up into two. The Mahayana means the great vehicle, Mahayana. And they call the Theravadins Hinayana, small vehicle. Why? Because the Hinayana was like the motorcycle. And the Mahayana, the great vehicle, was like a bus. Because the Buddha can take people in the bus, means a lot of people, and enlighten them. And the Theravada, the small vehicle like the motorcycle, was able only to take one person. You see, so they thought, oh, the great vehicle is better than the small vehicle, and that is how they supported. And from that time onwards, the Mahayanas were really following, they were saying that they are trying to become Buddhas, and they were Bodhisattas because they were trying to become Buddhas. And they were following the paramitas. But the lay people didn't realize the difference between the Vinaya rules and the paramitas. They didn't know that. It was, paramitas were very difficult things to do because you have to sacrifice your life, you have to sacrifice many things to practice the paramitas. And if a person can't practice the Vinaya rules, how can they practice paramitas? They didn't know that. So what happened was, these two parties went on in that way. That is how ultimately Buddhism gradually started degenerating till the present times, when we have not only Theravada and Mahayana, we are also having another one called Vajrayana.